Listen carefully, because this is about understanding connection, respect, and energy, not about manipulation or cheap tricks. If you want to have intimacy with a woman right away, it's not about rushing or forcing anything. It's about how you make her feel. That's the secret. First, confidence is everything, not arrogance, but a calm certainty that you value yourself and you're not begging for approval. Women feel that energy instantly. When you walk into a room knowing your worth, that power is magnetic. Second, authenticity. Be real. Don't pretend to be someone else. Women see through fake in seconds. Speak your truth, show your intentions honestly, and own your flaws. This creates trust fast. Trust can ignite desire quickly. Third, presence. Give her your full attention. Listen, make eye contact, and be genuinely curious about who she is. When a man is fully present, it makes a woman feel seen and respected. That vulnerability opens doors. Fourth, energy. Sexual energy is not physical. It's about the vibe you carry. Be playful, tease gently, smile with a spark in your eyes. Make her laugh, feel alive, and then she'll want to be close to you. Finally, respect boundaries while moving confidently. Read her signals. If she's interested, don't hesitate. Sometimes boldness combined with respect is what breaks the ice fast. The truth is, when a woman feels safe, desired, and respected in your presence, the rest will follow naturally. Remember, this isn't about tricks or games. It's about being a man who knows himself, honors the woman, and creates a connection so strong that physical intimacy can happen the same day if the chemistry is real. So do this. Show up with confidence, be authentic, stay present, bring that energy, and respect her signals. That's the power combo that can turn a meeting into something unforgettable. You need to hear this today, people's actions reveal their true intentions far more clearly than their words ever will. Words are cheap. They can be rehearsed, edited, and thrown around without consequence. Actions are raw, unfiltered truth. Actions cut through the noise and show you exactly where someone stands, what they value, and how much they're willing to invest in you. You can listen to someone talk for hours, but if their behavior doesn't back up their promises, it's time to stop listening so closely and start watching more carefully. How many times have you been let down by someone who said all the right things but did the opposite? How many times have you believed apologies, empty promises, or "I'll do better," only to be met with the same pattern? The frustration is real, and it comes from the disconnect between what people say and what they actually do. When words don't match actions, it's not just disappointing, it's a red flag. It's a flashing warning sign that you need to recalibrate your expectations and protect your heart. Because here's the true thing, people will always show you who they really are through their actions. If someone consistently fails to follow through, shows up late, cancels plans, ignores your calls, or treats you as an option instead of a priority, they are telling you something. Day one, they are telling you how much they value you. And if you keep believing the sweet words and ignoring the glaring actions, you're doing yourself a disservice. Let's be clear, this isn't about cynicism or shutting down your heart. It's about clarity and wisdom. It's about trusting your gut when it tells you that something isn't right. It's about realizing that people don't usually wake up one day and decide to treat you badly. Patterns develop, and they reveal what's truly beneath the surface. No matter how many apologies come your way, no matter how much someone promises to change, if their actions don't align with their words, you have to start protecting yourself. It's also about respect. Respect for yourself and your time. Your energy is valuable. Your love is valuable. You can't afford to keep investing in someone who doesn't show up for you. It's painful to watch someone fall short, especially if you care deeply, but that pain is nothing compared to the slow erosion of your self-worth when you let actions slide because you want to believe the words. You deserve people whose actions shout, "You matter to me," louder than any verbal declaration ever could. You deserve relationships where follow-through isn't a surprise, but the standard, where consistency isn't a question, but a given, where promises aren't just made, they're kept. Because actions aren't just proof of love, respect, and care. They are the foundation for trust. It's okay to hold people accountable. It's okay to demand that what they say matches what they do. If someone says they care, then they'll show it. If they say they want to be in your life, then they'll make space for you. If they say you're important, then you'll feel it in how they treat you. When you stop settling for less than this, you send a powerful message in your heart. It's not a playground. Your time is not disposable. Your energy is not a resource to be wasted. So start paying attention, not just to the words, but to the way someone acts when you're not looking, when there's no pressure, when there's no audience. Actions aren't always loud. Sometimes they're small moments. Remembering your birthday, returning your calls, showing up when you're hurting, respecting your boundaries, making you feel safe. These are the actions that speak volumes and build genuine connection. And when the actions don't match, when the words are sweet but the behavior is bitter, it's time to stop making excuses, stop rationalizing, stop hoping, stop lowering your standards to fit someone else's inconsistency. You have the right to walk away. You have the right to say no. You have the right to protect your peace. Remember, actions aren't just indicators of others. They are a mirror to how much you respect yourself. You can't force someone to change, but you can choose not to enable the status quo. You can choose to prioritize yourself, your feelings, and your well-being over empty words. Because in the end, the person who values you will show it through what they do, just what they say. And that difference, that truth, that's everything. Setting boundaries is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect you can ever commit to. It's not about building walls to keep people out or punishing others for how they treat you. It's about drawing clear, unshakable lines that say, this is who I am. This is what I will accept. This is how I will protect my peace and preserve my dignity. When you set boundaries, you are telling the world and yourself that your well-being matters, your time matters, your feelings matter, your energy matters. And if someone wants to be in your life, they have to respect that. Too often, people confuse boundaries with selfishness or harshness, but the truth is the exact opposite. Boundaries are a declaration that you know your worth. They are a sign that you refuse to be trampled on or taken for granted. Boundaries create the conditions for healthy relationships because they establish respect as the baseline, not the exception. When you don't have boundaries, you become a doormat. You let people walk all over you. You say, eyes, when you want to say no. You stretch yourself then trying to make everyone happy except yourself. But when you have boundaries, you take back control over your life and your happiness. Setting boundaries means you know what you will tolerate and what you won't. It means you're willing to say no without guilt. It means you're willing to put your needs on par with the needs of others. This is an act of courage because it means facing potential rejection, conflict, or disappointment, but it's also an act of love. Love for yourself first so that you can show up fully and authentically for others. When you respect yourself enough to set boundaries, you create a blueprint for how others must treat you. And if they can't follow that blueprint, if their problem, not yours. Let's be honest, many people live their lives giving too much, saying yes to things that drain them, tolerating behavior that hurts them, all because they are afraid of losing people or being seen as difficult. But here's the thing, if someone truly values you, they will respect your boundaries. If they don't, they weren't valuing you in the first place. And you don't need to beg for respect or fight to earn it. You simply have to establish your boundaries clearly, consistently, and lovingly. Boundaries also protect your emotional and mental health. When you let people cross your lines repeatedly, you give them permission to disrespect your feelings and dismiss your needs. Over time, this creates resentment, bitterness, and exhaustion. You begin to feel invisible, unimportant, overwhelmed. But when you set boundaries, you create a safe space inside yourself where you are in control. You reduce stress and anxiety because you no longer feel like you have to please everyone or fix everything. You reclaim your energy and focus on what truly matters to you. Many people avoid setting boundaries because they fear confrontation or feel guilty for asserting themselves. But here's the true thing. The people who love and respect you will not disappear because you set boundaries. In fact, they will appreciate you more because when you respect yourself, you teach others how to respect you. Boundaries create clarity and trust in relationships. They eliminate confusion about what is acceptable and what is not. and they give people a chance to step up and meet you where you are instead of taking advantage of your kindness. It's also important to recognize that setting boundaries is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. As you grow and evolve, your boundaries will shift. What you tolerated in the past may no longer be acceptable today, and that's okay. Setting boundaries requires constant self-awareness and communication. It means checking in with yourself regularly and asking, am I still okay with this? Does this situation align with my values and my peace? If the answer is no, it's time to adjust your boundaries and communicate them clearly. Sometimes setting boundaries means saying no to people who have been in your life for a long time. It means distancing yourself from toxic relationships, even if it's painful. But remember, it's not about punishment or revenge. It's about self-preservation. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot be the best version of yourself if you are constantly drained by others. Setting boundaries allows you to protect your energy so you can thrive, not just survive. In the end, boundaries are a form of self-respect because they require you to put yourself first in a healthy way. They require you to believe that your needs are valid, that your time is precious, and that your peace is non-negotiable. They require you to stop apologizing for who you are and start owning your worth unapologetically. When you set boundaries, you are not just protecting yourself, you are honoring your life and your dreams. You are saying, I matter, my happiness matters, and I will no longer settle for less. So if you've been struggling to say no, to stand up for yourself, or to demand the respect you deserve, start small. Practice saying no in low-stakes situations. Notice how it feels when you protect your time. Observe how people respond when you set a clear limit, then build from there. The more you practice, the stronger you become. The more you honor your boundaries, the more you reinforce self-respect, and the more you protect your peace, the more your life will reflect the love and respect you have for yourself. Because at the end of the day, setting boundaries isn't just about keeping others in check. It's about keeping yourself whole. It's about creating a life where you can flourish without apology. It's about becoming the person who values herself so much that she refuses to settle for anything less than what she deserves. And that, my friend, is true self-respect. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do when someone continually disrespects your boundaries, diminishes your worth, or drains your energy is to walk away. Not as an act of weakness, not as an act of anger, but as the strongest statement of self-respect you can make. Walking away is not about giving up or quitting. It's about choosing yourself, your peace, your dignity over the chaos, confusion, and pain that comes with staying in toxic situations. It's saying loud and clear, I am worth more than this. I will not tolerate this treatment any longer. When you decide to walk away, you are setting a powerful boundary that words often fail to communicate. Because talk is cheap. Words can be empty, hollow, or manipulative. Apologies can be rehearsed, promises can be broken. But walking away sends a message that actions matter more than words. It shows you have standards. It shows you value your well-being. It shows you respect yourself enough to refuse less than you deserve. And this is hard. It's hard because walking away often means facing the unknown. It means stepping out of your comfort zone, leaving behind what's familiar, even if it's painful. It means risking loneliness, rejection, or guilt. But here's the truth, staying in a place where you are disrespected is a slow erosion of your soul. It chips away at your confidence, your joy, your sense of self. It drains you emotionally, mentally, physically. And no apology, no promise, no excuse can replace the peace you sacrifice every day you stay in that situation. Walking away is not just about ending relationships either. It can mean walking away from jobs that no longer serve you, friendships that only drain you, habits that harm you, or environments that stifle your growth. It's about recognizing when something or someone is no longer of value to your life and having the courage to say, enough. This is an act of radical self-love. It's you putting yourself first, not because you're selfish, but because you're wise. Think about the times you've stayed in a situation that felt off. Maybe you stayed because you hoped things would change. Maybe you stayed because you didn't want to hurt someone's feelings. Maybe you stayed because you feared being alone or judged. Maybe you stayed because you thought leaving meant failure or weakness. But none of those reasons honor who you or what you deserve. Staying in a place that hurts you under the guise of loyalty or love is not noble. It's self-neglect, and you deserve better. Walking away shows you trust yourself. It shows you know your worth and you refuse to settle for crumbs when you deserve the whole meal. It tells the world, and more importantly yourself, that you will no longer accept anything less than respect, kindness, and honesty. You are not available for mistreatment, manipulation, or disrespect. You are not available for people who don't see your value or only take without giving back. When you walk away, you reclaim your power. You break the cycle of toxic patterns. You create space for better things, better people, better experiences, better growth. And that space is sacred. It's the fertile ground where your confidence, your joy, and your peace can grow without being trampled. From day one, it's where your self-respect shines brightest because you're no longer watering weeds that choke your spirit. Now, walking away doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you're unkind or cold. Sometimes walking away is the kindest thing you can do, not just for yourself, but for the other person as well. Because when someone continually disrespects your boundaries, their behavior is unlikely to change unless there's consequence. And the consequence of walking away can be the wake-up call they need to grow, or it can simply be the natural end of a chapter that was never meant to continue. Either way, it's a boundary that protects your peace and honors your dignity. You owe it to yourself to stop making excuses for people who don't show up for you. You owe it to yourself to stop rearranging your life around moods, their needs, their chaos. You owe it to yourself to stop pretending everything is fine when it's not. And the loudest, clearest way to do that is by walking away. Because in walking away, you're not running from problems. You're running toward your best self. Imagine the freedom that comes with no longer carrying the weight of someone else's disrespect. Imagine the clarity you gain when you stop trying to justify what you know deep down isn't right. Imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing you honored your worth by choosing yourself first. This is not an act of abandonment. This is an act of bravery. Coolvery, it's the ultimate self-respect. Walking away is never easy. It can come with doubt, guilt, second-guessing. You might wonder if you're overreacting or being too harsh. But remember, this respect for yourself is not negotiable. It is the foundation of all healthy relationships, whether with others or with yourself. When you walk away, you reinforce that foundation. You show yourself that you are your own first priority. And when you live from that place of self-prioritization, everything else begins to fall into place. When you respect yourself enough to walk away, you teach others how to treat you. You raise your standards. You demand the respect you deserve. And if they can't meet those standards, that's on them, not you. Their inability to respect your boundaries does not diminish your worth. It only reveals their own limitations. Walking away is also an act of faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your future, faith that better things are waiting for you. It's trusting that life will bring you relationships and situations that honor you instead of breaking you down. It's believing you are worthy of happiness and peace, and that belief is transformative. So if you're in a situation where you're constantly compromising your values, where your boundaries are repeatedly crossed, where your energy is drained and your heart is heavy, consider walking away. It may be the loudest, clearest, most powerful statement of self-respect you ever make. Because sometimes the best way to say, I love myself, is to say goodbye to what no longer serves you. And when you do walk away, walk with your head held high. Walk knowing that you are choosing yourself, not because you're giving up, but because you're growing up, because you're finally seeing your own worth clearly and refusing to settle for less, because you know that your peace, your joy, and your self-respect are sacred and non-negotiable. Remember, walking away is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. Way one where you're free to live authentically, love deeply, and respect yourself fiercely. And that is the most powerful statement you can make, not just to others, but to yourself